This is Blaze Eats. I'm Chef Pinnix.
And I'm Spencer.
And today we are making...
Eggs Benedict.
Yum, yum.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me a little about your reason on picking Eggs Benedict.
So one of the biggest reasons is because it was something that my dad used to make for me and my sister when we were little. And he always used to tell me it's one of the hardest things that you can make as a dish in the culinary world, because there's just so many parts that can go wrong at any given moment, and it takes so much care to make. So I really wanted to bring that challenge to Blaze Eats.
So you have a little bit of family history on this. That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
So today we're going to do Eggs Benedict. And with Eggs Benedict, you can do a couple of different flavors or designs. You can do a seafood style. But today we're doing a ham base, a good different type of protein. So during this time frame, he's going to mix up the eggs, and we're making a what?
Hollandaise sauce.
So tell me a little bit about how you're making your hollandaise.
So a hollandaise sauce is really hard because it's basically like making scrambled eggs, but you don't want the eggs to scramble. You're cooking your eggs to cook out the water and make it thick into a sauce while it's mixed with butter, but you have to keep it on a low enough heat so that way the eggs don't start to actually scramble, and it just reduces the water content to make it thick.
And during this time frame, he's using egg yolks, not the egg white as well, and just heating up that butter, getting it to where it gives it a little bit of color. That way it also gives them more flavor to the hollandaise sauce as he's making it. All right, so now we are toasting up the ham, and with the ham we're just adding that extra heat to it. One, it caramelizes that sugars that are actually naturally in the ham, but also brings out some of the salt after you dry it up a little bit.
Yeah, it adds a really great salty flavor to the end of the dish that's otherwise pretty neutral in flavor.
Poaching the egg, a little bit different here. So most people, they just put an egg in the water. What we're actually doing is we actually add a little bit of vinegar to the water to give it more of an alkaline base. That way the egg white will actually hold together a little bit longer while it poaches, while it's cooking in that water. We don't want the water boiling, a very rapid boil, but we want something where it's more simmering. And that way, at the end of the day, it doesn't really want it to break apart and separate. So about how long are we cooking the egg?
We usually cook the egg for just about 4 minutes, maybe 4.5 minutes, depending on how cooked you want the yolk. One of the other things that we do to keep the whites from breaking apart is before you put in your egg into the water, you stir it into a vortex, so that way all the whites stay together and it kind of forms into that nice, light, fluffy kind of texture.
So now we're going to toast up some of the wonderful bread. What kind of bread are you choosing today?
So these are typical English muffins, or nooks and crannies, which the way that they're baked causes them to have a bunch of these sort of like bubble ridge structures that are really great for toasting up and having that like very distinct flavor and texture into them.
All right, so we're going to start plating now. So we're going to plate this with some garnish. And during this time frame, Spencer, tell me about what garnish you picked.
So I ended up choosing leaves of parsley because parsley is a very neutral flavor, and it doesn't bring anything extra to the dish, so it's also not going to clash at all. But it also gives it that nice leafy look, and it has that very rich green color that it can really bring out.
Thank you for watching Blaze Eats. Go Blaze.